Hi there, this is the video recap for the physical touch Thai massage workshop, the date night couples Thai massage workshop. And remember that we are trying to listen with our hands. When it comes to physical touch, many of us try to impose force upon our partner, but especially when it comes to our romantic partner, this is more of an exercise for connection, sensing, and feeling. We started out seated, just hands on our partner's back, listening to the breath. So this is Robin, my lovely assistant, and we're going to start out sitting, face the wall. Remember, broad hands. You can sit with the legs straight or bent. You can even kneel if that's more comfortable for your hips and legs. Hands make contact. I'm not pushing her. I'm also not like hover handing. Make comfortable contact. Relax your hands. And then we're just going to breathe together. Robin's going to breathe into my hands. We don't need to breathe at the same time. We're just going to close our eyes and sense for 1 to 2 minutes. Feel the expansion of the breath wide in the rib cage. Feel the density of your partner's body. Feel the temperature. Feel the rhythm of the breath. And feel yourself relax more and more with each breath. So once you have sensed and felt with the breath and kind of gotten into the mood, then have your partner roll down onto their back, face up. And we started out with the hips, and we're going to bring knee to glute. So partner is face up, move down to their leg, grab onto their ankle and support under the knee. Remember, support at the joints whenever you move a limb. Partner receiving, you can just play dead. Initiate a bend into the knee, bring the foot closer and plant it. Other hand plants on top so you can move yourself into position. Remember that one foot plants on top of your partner's foot and one hand compresses at the knee. I'm going to scoop my hip in line with hers so that my hip and my thigh make a straight line with both of her hips. From here, push the knee forward away from you, but across toward the opposite leg. And either keep pushing at the knee until the hip lifts, or bring hand to the outer hip to lift a little bit more and slide your knee underneath. My knee is sort of like a cross-legged, half cross-legged kneeling or seated position. And it's the inner part of the knee that makes contact with the glute. So, I draw the knee back out, give it a hug toward my shoulder. Other hand reaches across, grabs for the front hip bone, and now I'm going to lean back, kind of lifting my partner's pelvis so that the glute compresses onto my knee underneath. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Push the knee forward, move your knee down slightly, hug the knee in, reach across, grab opposite hip, and lean back. Do this up and down the glute, moving just about an inch at a time. You might need to shift your whole base. If you find a good spot you can hang out there, communicate with your partner. It's totally up to you. And when you're done, push the knee across, slide your own knee out, open the knee up, let it fall out to the side first, and then straighten it out next to the other one. Sorry. Next we did prone, so face down compressions of the back. Bring your arms down by your sides. Partner can turn their head in one direction or the other. They can alternate. It's up to them. start kneeling, knees wide, around your partner's head basically. With your hands, start with heel of hand at the partner's shoulder. I'm pushing forward toward my partner's hips, and then slightly down toward the floor. Rock side to side, saying hello, just covering the area that we'll be working. And now I'm going to compress down either side of the spine. Once I get about between the shoulder blades, I'm going to rise up so I can get a downward pressure toward the floor. Same thing, we're palm walking. Nice broad hands, not just using fingers or heel of hand, but the whole hand. Take your time sinking layer by layer through the muscular tissue, all the way down to the back of the pelvis. Once you get to the back of the pelvis, lock forward and slightly downward. You can stay here on your knees, framing your partner's head, or you can tuck the toes, lift the hips, and rise into downward dog, just to get a stretch and a little, it's more pressure from above, so it's slightly different. Slowly release back down to the knees first. Remove pressure, that forward pressure, and then palm walk back up the back. Nice and slow. Take your time. All right. Compress back out to the edge of the shoulders and feather off. Next, we are going to compress the upper shoulders, the upper trap area, with our foot because our legs are stronger than our arms. So, partner still lying face down. Come to a seated position and use your foot against your partner's shoulder, closer to the neck, and start with the arch of the foot aligned with the neck, so it's not my opposite foot, it's the foot where the arch lines up with the neck. And from here I'm gonna slide my heel forward. It's like I'm making footprints across my partner's shoulder. And you can either sit and post up with your hands behind you, or you can sit against a wall for even easier technique. When you find a good spot, and your partner can tell you if it's a good spot, is that a good spot? Mm-hmm. Then just lock and sink and hang out for a little bit. Here's where you can practice tuning into your breath and your partner's breath. And the partner who's receiving can imagine the muscles just melting around the pressure. Try to feel any shifting in the tissue with your foot. Slowly remove pressure layer by layer. And if you want to, if your partner would like it, for more pressure, we can just use sharper pressure, and we'll switch to the other foot so that the outer edge of the foot, the knife edge of the foot, can line up with your partner's neck this time. So same thing, lock and sink. Get a feel for the area at first with this foot because it's going to feel different. Out and back in. And when you find a spot that's really dense, be sure to check in with your partner. You can lock and sink and then even invert the foot slightly. See that little bit of rolling in my ankle? It'll sharpen the pressure, which will help it go deeper. Is that good pressure? Mm-hmm. So you can say more, less, or same. That way your partner just gets to answer with one word. So more, less, or same? Same. Same. Okay. And that's when we just hang out and feel and release as much as we can if you're the one receiving. Not a whole lot of doing, remember. We're not trying to fix each other. We're not trying to fix each other's bodies. That you can leave to the professionals. This is a tool for connection and relaxation. Next, ask your partner to turn over so they're lying face up, and sit or kneel so that you are framing your partner's head, neck, and shoulders, and that's where we're going to work. So broad hands, make contact with the tops of the shoulders, and lean side to side, compressing, lengthening the shoulder and neck area. And after you compress the tops of the shoulders, pressing forward and downward, just like we did when our partner was face down, scoop your hands underneath the back of their neck, turn fingers forward toward the shoulders and the rest of the body, curl the fingers towards your partner's neck to add some pressure, and then slide up the back of the neck. That first pass, if your partner has long hair, might be just sweeping the hair out of the way. You can turn that into a relaxing technique as well. And at least 3 times, sliding fingers up either side of the spine on the back of the neck, glide out toward the ears at the hairline, or start at the base of the neck, slide up, and then all the way underneath the head. The last time you do that, you can slide under the back of the head, bring pinkies and pinky sides of the palms to touch, and then just let the weight of your partner's head rest on your hands on the ground. Cup slightly with your finger pads, massaging along the hairline because there's a group of suboccipital muscles there that get really tight. So after this moment of pause and relaxation, now we're going to roll the head side to side, leaning with the head as you roll, and not sliding the head across, your hands across the floor. We're really just pushing the head into one hand, rolling that away, rolling back to center, and then pushing the head into the other hand. After a few rolls side to side, let the head rest in one hand, release the top hand, stretch it toward the opposite shoulder, straight arm, lean forward to stretch shoulder away from ear. A few times. And then with a braced thumb, okay, so not just like your thumb hanging out here, that's how you can hurt your the joints in your thumb, which is very important. Your thumb's important, don't do that. Brace it against the index finger. That way we can lock and sink with a strong arm, and then lean forward with our torso to really sink into the soft muscles. Well, they might be dense on you or your partner, but not the bone. So tracing this line in, making thumbprints toward the neck. And then when you get to the neck, switch to make contact with your 4 finger pads. And we're going to make circles up the side of the neck. And it's kind of the back portion of the neck. Her head's turned to the side, so it's exposing this area. Tracing circles. If you find a spot and you kind of want to lock and sink there with your fingertip or finger pad, you can. Just be sure to spread it out afterward with circles. And when you get to the hairline, switch to fingertips or fingernails and make circles up the back side of the head. Hand makes contact, roll head back to center, and then to the other side, maybe even taking a few more rotations before you begin on the other side. But we'll stop there for today. Remember that next week's class, or this week's class rather, is on words of affirmation, so we'll learn how to ask for what we want with kindness and respect and positivity. And thanks for watching.